Joining us now live to talk more about these tough yet important conversations with your child or children is Nikki Martyn, parenting and child expert in the program, head of early childhood studies at the University of Guelph-Humber. Nikki, do appreciate you being here this morning. It's tricky, right? I mean, especially as journalists, you know, we probably have our TVs on maybe a little bit more than other people do. And so these images are being on them. And my kids are saying, wow, what's going on? What's happening there? So I'm glad we're talking about this today because I think I'm saying the right things. But what are some ways to address like the violent and destructive scenes we're watching unfold right now?
Yeah, certainly we don't want children to be able to have to experience that, right? It's disruptive and it's hard to understand. It's hard for kids to understand things that are outside of their, and this is a big deal.
Oh, yeah.
This is hard for us to understand, let alone make sense for a child. And so being able to, if the parent is feeling anxious or stressed, if the environment, trying to keep the environment as safe as possible, but being able to provide the opportunity for the child to feel that it's safe, to feel that they're cared for and loved and that their world or their little bubble is okay. But when a parent feels stressed or anxious or overwhelmed, the child picks up on that naturally because it's energy, right? And so they know, but they don't have the experience or understanding outside of themselves to understand that could be you and something in the world that's impacting you, not them. By nature, we're egocentric, so, and healthy, right? And so they don't have, so they just kind of say, oh, it must be me. I must be doing something, and then they feel like in order to create safety in the world that they need to make you feel safe. So they need to, and that's not their role. Their role is to be a child and it is the parent's role to take care of the child. So we need to make sure that the parents offer and create environments that are safe and loving, that there's trust and openness. And so what I would say to answer your question, I guess, is a long-winded way of saying, create open, honest communication, explain how you feel in the world. So if you're feeling overwhelmed and anxious, to be able to explain that in a developmentally appropriate way, that sometimes we can feel sad and sometimes we feel stressed, and it's not about them, and providing that opportunity for them to understand that you have experiences outside of them as well, so that they're not responsible for everything.
Yeah, and Nikki, what are some of the tips, you know, in terms of examples of questions you can maybe ask your kid in return to kind of gauge how they're understanding the context of what they're seeing?
What I would say is actually create an open environment for children to be able to ask the question themselves. Children have a harder time than adults do to be able to express themselves verbally, so it's really important that we create opportunities for them to play and draw or creative expression so that we can see what they're struggling with. So when we get on the ground and we play with them, or even when we play a card game with an older child, it gives the opportunity and space for questions to come out. The car is also a great one for this, right? We sit in the car and all of a sudden, or right before bedtime at night, all of a sudden all these questions come up. So what I would suggest is build opportunities for trust. And what I mean by that is create opportunities where the child feels safe in the relationship so that they know they can ask and say anything in that safety. And then the parent can respond in, oh my goodness, I didn't realize you were feeling that way. Or I feel that way too, but not to worry. We're creating a safe space. We're safe here, and I will take care of us. And that will give the opportunity for the child, if they have, you know, somebody says something at school that they don't understand, or they see something on TV, that they can ask questions about it, that it's safe and trusting and loving at home, so that they know their world is safe and then they feel safe inside of themselves.
And you know, sometimes for kids it's tough to put those things into words. So what can we as parents kind of look for in our children to say, you know what, maybe they've seen this and are thinking about this, but they can't quite conceptualize or wrap their heads around it?
Absolutely. They don't know what to ask, right? And to your point, so they don't know what to ask or how to say it. So we're going to look for changes in behavior. We're going to look for, you know, some things that you know, aggression or anger you might see, and you like, that's obvious, right? Sadness also you might see. You might see over-helping. But you also might see an excessive amount of silliness and, you know, and needing to take care. So we're going to kind of look for all different kinds of behaviors that happen, watch their drawings, talk to them about their drawings and their play, engage with play, get on the ground, be open and receptive and attuned to all of those nuances and change so that they know the world is safe. Allow them to sparkle brightly and be there with them so that they don't have to take on those feelings of shame and feelings of I'm not worthy, and create opportunities where they feel seen, valued, and understood.
Yeah.
Okay, Nikki Martyn, head of Early Childhood Studies program at the University of Guelph-Humber. Appreciate your time and your tips this morning. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Yeah, important conversation indeed, Nikki. Thank you for that.